Good afternoon, hello. My name is Daniel and today I'm at George Fox Cycling Solutions, and George is a coach, elite time trial rider and bike fitter. However, George, I'm sorry to tell you, I haven't got any money with me today. So what I'm looking for is some bike fitting tips or position tips to get me faster without spending any money.
I think
Got it?
I think that's the best thing about aerodynamics though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that it's free.
Okay.
If you know what you're doing, it's free.
Yeah.
So when it comes to a time trial position, obviously one of the biggest things that we're talking about in terms of position is ourselves, right? We're talking about the body. The mechanical part of the bike shouldn't change across the course of a race, but your fatigue and what you're holding will change kind of the aerodynamic side of it, and will change the performance. So when we're looking at a time trial position, there are some really easy wins. The first one really is what we're going to do with our head position. You'll see a lot of people riding around like this, and we know that ultimately it's quite hard to obviously get your head down here like you're a time trialer and hold it there. But the reason it's hard is because of your neck muscles. So we do a lot of work in terms of the bike fit side of things, trying to get people to drop their chin in a straight line to the floor and get their head down in line with their torso. Mostly so the helmet can do its job as well. So if you're here and you find that you're riding a lot of your time up here, you can probably start to focus on saying, right, this feels like 80%. This is where my head position is, and it's when I'm not really trying, okay? So then you've got 100%. So you're coming down to here, so you're still looking down the road, but what you're not doing is looking straight down the floor like this. So you're trying to get your head down in line with your torso. So at this point here, I'm looking just over the top of my thumbs, and I'm looking through roughly this gap. So I'm still looking down in front of me. This one is the one that's really hard to hold. This is where we'd want you to be a lot of the time, but we can't. So it's the same as everything else, same as we do drills in swimming, for example. It's the royal we. You have to work on form and technique. So the way that we're going to work on this is say, right, this is 80, this is 100. So now we're going to look straight at the floor, and we're going to push our face down into our arms. And what that's doing is stretching your neck muscles. So effectively, you're increasing the range of movement that you've got with these muscles here, because normally your neck muscles are designed to hold your head straight on your shoulders. We've never asked anybody to do this and then this before, but that's effectively what we're doing on a time trial position. So we're just trying to increase the range of movement in the muscles to make it so that actually 100% feels like 90, which therefore means you'll be able to hold it for longer. So that's one of the easiest wins when it comes to a time trial position. So shoulders is something that we know, on the whole, as a general rule of thumb, narrow is fast, okay? So if there's just less of you in terms of the A part of your CDA, so the area part, we know that actually if we can get the shoulders in and make you narrower, in an ideal world, we'd all have our collarbones removed and we'd be super duper narrow and we'd be really quick. It's the same theory as why we're seeing a lot of people wearing wider helmets now, because a wider helmet basically forces the air around your shoulders. So the way that we can obviously impact that as well is by bringing our shoulders in at the same time. If you're like me and you've got quite square shoulders, it's not the best, because effectively this is really square and it's like a barn door. Some of the fastest positions that we see are people with rounded shoulders. So it's just a much smoother shape for the air to travel over. So we're all individual, we're all different, and it's something that doesn't necessarily work for everybody. And obviously in a time trial, I don't have as many things to worry about in terms of what I'm doing after the bike, for example. So it's realistic for me to be able to say, right, on the really fast sections where aerodynamics counts for more, I'm gonna really focus on nailing the head position and bringing the shoulders in as well. Whereas for you, you've just done a swim. All right, so your neck and shoulders are already screaming at you before you've even got on the bike. So we need to be realistic and say you're not gonna hold that for the whole race, but we just wanna have it as a tool in our toolbox that we can bring out on the bits where it's going to count for the most. So the downhill, the tailwind sections where you're going to be going faster, that's where it's going to have more of an impact, so that's when you should be looking to use it.
There we go then, 2 free tips on how to get faster. Thanks, George.
You're welcome.